All right, welcome. This is your first time. You already know what time to do is make sure that you like and subscribe to page. I am Jerry Thomas Jr. and this is Robody. And this is our transformed and renewed session. Again, if this is your first time, make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of great content today for you in a short amount of time. So I want to make sure that I don't keep you waiting. And so I'm excited. This is one of my favorite times of the week where I can share information with you about nutrition, health, in terms of also really seeing you at your best. Because nothing is worse than going through life feeling like you're missing something. It's like every time you're doing something, you feel like there's always something holding you back. And so I want to share some information with you, if you will, that can help you with that. So today we're going to talk about a fundamental concept, and that is what is nutrition. And I think it's easy many times we hear of different words, terms, and sometimes we assume that we know what it means, but we never really thought about what the actual meaning was. We may say, oh, I thought it meant this, but no, I couldn't mean this if this word means that. So, anyway, when it comes to nutrition, what does that mean? And then also, we're going to explore why is understanding nutrition important or beneficial to you, because I think that's where we have a lot of disconnect with people who may not see the value in practicing good nutrition and how it can help them. They may have an idea about it, but I think there's also misinformation about that. So I want to do my part in sharing that with you, and hopefully you can walk away or leave this video saying, you know what, I learned some things and let me apply those concepts in my life. So first thing we're going to talk about is what is nutrition. And as I looked up this term, nutrition is essentially under or the process of how an organism consumes food, metabolizes the food, and obtains the nutrients from that particular food. That is nutrition. Now, you may hear people say, I have good nutrition or bad nutrition. Ideally, what they are referencing is when you have good nutrition, this is where you are consuming the foods that contain an abundance of nutrients. And the nutrients are essential because they help supply your body with the elements or nutrients or components that can keep your body maintaining health. And what does health mean? Health means that you are in a state of complete physical, mental, as well as physical, mental, and I wanted to say social, but where you're in a state of complete wholeness, ideally, is to be in health. And so I recall seeing that phrase in health in the Bible. And so that made me think about when we are in health, that means that we are in wholeness of our bodies, which means that we're not suffering from any diseases, that we are actually functioning normal as we are supposed to. So we understand what nutrition is and we know what health is. And we talked about good nutrition, and bad nutrition is ideally the opposite of good nutrition. Is where you have a lack of the nutrients that are needed to give your body the essentials to maintain good health or to be in health. And so why is this important? Well, when we really think about the concept of nutrition, which is, of course, the process of consuming food, then metabolizing that particular food, and then absorbing the nutrients from that food to ideally obtain the benefits from that so that it can keep us in proper alignment with fulfilling the tasks that we need throughout the day. A prime example is going up the stairs. You may see some people who say, well, it's hard for me to go up the stairs because of my knees, my joints. I have um, either osteoporosis, my joints are just not allowing me to really go up the steps the way I would want to. And so when we think about nutrition, how can nutrition help? why is nutrition important? Well, for a couple of reasons. And I will also talk about in the United States where we are. One of the things that I've noticed is the typical American diet is, I can't say it's a diet that is really going to help the average person sustain good health. And that's because what you see in commercials and different forms of media, the promotion doesn't really leave you with the feeling of, it mostly leaves you with the feeling of satisfaction versus, you know, real fulfillment. And what I mean by that is a lot of times the foods that we eat can essentially be an emotional comfort, tool, if we will. When you think about people who are going out on like a social event, so whether you're going to a bar, you get chicken wings, pizza, tenders, nachos, burgers, the typical foods, that comes with socializing. But when you really think about a lot of those foods and how they are prepared, usually fried, greasy, and lacking a lot of vegetables, or even if they do have vegetables, the vegetables can either be cooked to a point where there is not a lot of nutrients left, or the vegetables, they could be well, but it's not enough to really make a difference in terms of their health, because you're getting a lot of meat, you're getting a lot of fat, and you're also getting a lot of refined carbs in your diet. And so when we think about this, the issues that we can see when it comes to, nutrition, and how a lot of people are not really benefiting from nutrition, is because what I've looked at is it comes down to two things. It's one is discipline and emotion. And like I said, the most people typically fall on the emotional side when it comes to nutrition. And I'm not trying to attack anybody, because I myself, my mindset at one point was emotional. However, because I've really decided to really become a disciplined eater, a disciplined person in terms of what things I put inside of my body. And it's not like I go around saying, oh, you shouldn't eat that, or kicking stuff out your hand. No, it's not that type of party with me. No, I wouldn't do that. But what I am saying is, you know, these are ideally two categories that you're going to fall into when it comes to your nutrition. Because think about it, the next food that you eat, that's either going to be based on an emotional decision or it's based on discipline. Discipline is either saying, okay, I got to eat this because X, Y, and Z. This is going to give me A, B, C, and D benefits. Or emotional because, hey, I haven't eaten all day, or I need to get something, into the tank, or I just, I'm hungry. I don't care what shit, I'm just eating. And if we really don't practice discipline, then we can, continue to fall into bad nutrition. Okay. So let me really get into why, is nutrition important? Well, I kind of covered some of the topics, but I will, be a little bit more organized with this. So one I would say is that, you know, being in good nutrition, being in good nutrition helps you to avoid being malnourished. And malnourished is essentially lacking the essential nutrients that can fulfill your body's requirement to stay in good health. Now, I know a lot of people may think when they hear the term malnourished, they may think of this kid from a third world country that is frail in bones, but it doesn't mean that ideally. What it does mean is you can be a normal, or you can be individual, you can be overweight, or you can have a normal weight, or you can be underweight. But ideally, what it means is you are lacking the nutrients. So you're not getting the essential nutrients that you need from a day to day basis to sustain good health. That is being malnourished. Okay. And so that would be one thing when it comes to, the importance of nutrition is it helps you to avoid that. Two, it also helps you from rushing as an eater. A lot of times people, when they see food that is especially comfort food, they tend to rush. Sometimes they may slow down, but most people they tend to rush, especially if they haven't had a meal in some time, and that can cause you to overeat, which can lead to issues with your digestive tract, causing inflammation and other issues that can really throw your body out of balance. And so it's important to really, when you're consuming foods, to really chew them up. You probably heard it growing up, but I'm going to say it again because I've seen this, even experienced it early in life, is really chewing your food, like taking as many bites to grind up that food. Because when you're doing this process, when you're grinding up the food as much as you can up here, then it's less work that has to be done down there, where your food is being processed and extracted or excreted. Okay. So, one of the benefits of really being good nutrition, I probably have touched on it, but I'm just going to say it plainly. This helps you to really avoid living life with issues. And what I mean by that is, going through life, sometimes people may say, this person is too young to be experiencing this, or experiencing these conditions. And a lot of people don't know, cancer and other issues can come from, other external means, but primarily when you look at the data, a lot of the data points towards habits, food habits, and we have to take the responsibility versus trying to cast it off on these other things. Again, I'm not saying that they're not valid, but we also have to make sure, have we really been doing our homework, or have we really been doing our part in terms of really moderating what comes into our bodies? Have we really been taking in the essential nutrients, proper macros? I know people talk about protein and carbs and how carbs can be bad. With proper, with proper allocation of each of those, because each of these categories, fats, carbs, and proteins, they have a proper allocation. The issue is that a lot of people aren't aware of how much they should be eating each day. And so, because of that, when you go through this cycle, you want to blame it on somebody, but you have to realize, hey, it is me. I was eating too much, or I was overeating when I didn't know how much to eat, or I was under eating. And so, how do we really correct this issue of nutrition or being in good nutrition? And one way is, I would say, is information like I'm sharing tonight. You have other people similar to myself who may have higher degrees, even doctorates, who share information with you about nutrition. Another thing is, always reaching out to professionals in your area. Again, you can reach out. To me, I always want to share as much information, but you also have nutritionists, dietitians who really can go deeper into giving you the tools that you need to, maintain good nutrition. Another thing is, and I know some people may not be aware of it, is, also exploring alternative means, aside from your doctor. I have nothing against doctors, but I want you to know that a doctor is not your lifesaver. Okay? A doctor is not going to be responsible for your overall health. A doctor is there to perform his duties, and that's pretty much it. Only you know, like, how you feel, okay? You can tell a doctor that all day, they can prescribe you something, but they still don't know how you feel. And so that means that you are the one who knows, okay, if I'm feeling this way, okay, what should we really do about it? And I'm just sharing this information with you in terms of, okay, let's take some better steps versus just kind of casually going through life thinking, okay, I can, do whatever and not have any consequences. I want you to know there are consequences to everything, and your health happens to be one. So don't play with your health. That's one thing. That's the one thing that you can control. And I think many of us, we go through life not really taking this concept of nutrition seriously. We want to eat fried chicken. We want to eat all of that. We want to eat the biscuits that are just saturated. Trust me, people, I grew up with this. And it's a time and a place, I would just say that, for those things. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm not even telling you what you should eat. I am just proposing this question to you, and this is something that you have to ask yourself, okay? What do I need to eat every day or daily, or the type of foods that I need to eat in order to maintain good health? So, now, because this is the benefit, I can avoid having health issues later in life, or I can avoid having issues that cause me to be on the sidelines while I'm watching other people who are older than me just run past me. Okay. No one ever plans for that. But I want to propose that question to you because if you don't plan in order to really avoid this, then you are planning to not avoid it. Okay. I know that may not have made sense, but if you don't plan to avoid it, then you are planning to not avoid it. Okay. In other words, you're going to run right into that problem, and that problem is going to overtake you because you have not planned to say, okay, let me really look at some resources. Let me really ask some questions about nutrition. I know I can't do it cold turkey, but let me at least like get my feet into the waters. Let me, really understand some things a little better. Let me learn about, okay, what is, non-GMO products? What are organic foods? Why should I rinse my produce off? Why should I, avoid eating certain foods that are not, produced with this type of material, or if they are produced with these types of additives, why should I avoid them? These are just some questions that I'm just sharing with you, and hopefully they can help you with making your decision. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this video because, like I said, I know I haven't done one before on this nutrition, but I felt the need to do it because, I'm sure there are a lot of people who, again, assume they know what nutrition is, but I always enjoy just providing the basics, the fundamentals, because I think once we have these fundamentals and these tools in our toolbox, we can at least take some steps forward saying, okay, I know this, so now where do I need to go next? Okay. So if you enjoyed this, make sure that you like and subscribe to our page at Robody1212. Again, make sure that you like and subscribe to our page at Robody1212. Listen, family, I enjoyed sharing this information with you, but I also want to know, did you enjoy it? And if you did, make sure that you leave a comment because I do enjoy your feedback, okay? Make sure you stay tuned for latest videos that we will be sharing with you. And again, every day, or not every day, but every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, somewhere in California. I'm not sure what the exact time zone is, but anyway, we are going to be live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. And if not, we're going to have something for you related to nutrition or just health because I want to see you at your best. Do you want to see you at your best? Okay. I do. I want to see you at your best. Okay. And that's what I want to do right now. I want to help you with that. So if you like this, make sure that you like and subscribe to our page. And with that, I will talk with you later.